what's up everybody? So I got a use case for that awkward flat 9 going here, and I thought I'd just kind of take a moment to share it with y'all. Why? Because you're a guitar player, and this is GuitarAmado. Well, hello there, and welcome back to another episode of GuitarAmado here. I'm your host, Adam Amado, and today I just have a simple 2-chord progression to share with you. Well, maybe simple in the fact that we only have 2 chords to think about, but we are in fact going to complicate the hell out of these chords, specifically by taking a look at a flat 9 scenario. And this is from a song called What We Have Here. So the 2 chords that we're looking at are B major. That's actually a second inversion B major. We got the 5th in the bass. Then we got the root and the 3rd. So that's string 6, 5, and 4. 5th, root, 3rd. The chord tones we're working with. And then we have that exact same shape. We're just sliding it down a minor 3rd to a G sharp. So they're both major triads. And right away, this is already kind of cool because these chords don't necessarily belong in the same key together. There's some kind of alteration going on here. Now, in the spirit of playing it my way, I tend to not really care about this stuff. You know, that is until after I figure out what I want to do. Then I might get curious and go back and try to figure out the theory. But I'm just going to call this a B major to a G sharp major. And it gives it a nice, interesting sound because that G sharp in the key of B would normally be a minor chord. So let's go ahead and dive a little deeper and see if we can get some more context of what's going on with this lick. So hanging out on this B chord up here. So I do change the chord tone. So that's on the 4th string. I'm moving the 3rd down a whole step. So that it's a C sharp on top of a B chord, which is the 9 of the chord. Okay, so that's the first change. So we got the 5th of the chord here in the bass that's moving down a whole step. So that could be a suspended 4, or possibly you could think of it as an 11. Once again, in the spirit of playing it my way, I really don't care about that until much, much later in the process, if at all. So I'm going to call it a suspension. It kind of gives me the impression of a suspension, so I'm going to treat it like a suspended 4 chord. So we got the regular triad. We're putting the 9th in there. And then we're also temporarily throwing that 4 in there, that 4th. The suspended 4. So there's kind of a lot of interesting colors going on with that B chord already. Now what happens when we move down to this G? So normally in the key of B, that G sharp chord would be a minor chord. You know, that minor 3rd of that chord happens to be the root note. It's B. G sharp to B is a minor 3rd. So when we make that a major chord, we're actually raising the root of the last chord. So you could think of that as a B sharp, which is technically, it's enharmonically a C. But just to kind of help you think through that major 3rd now, G sharp to B sharp would be a major 3rd. So right away, that interesting sound right there of raising that tonic up a half a step into the next chord there. It's really cool. Very pretty sound. So if you think about it, the last chord that we had, the B, when I move down to that 9th, adding that 9th, that's a C sharp. And then if we move down a half step, we have C, which is also enharmonic for that B sharp that we looked at. So I'm thinking of it as a C. You know, it happens to be the major 3rd of that chord, that triad that we're playing. But then I also play it here in the bass line to help me move back down to a B9 chord again, just in a different position. So this might be kind of a stretch here, but I'm thinking of it as sort of a flat 9 scenario. So it's just that little bit of clash of the tonality there. So I'm sure there are a ton of ways that you could think about it. You know, maybe it's just fun with chromatics here. Like you have that C sharp as the 9th, and then you have the C or the B sharp in the next triad. But then you also have the B. So you have those 3 chromatic notes there that we're kind of playing around with the tonality within the chords. So it could just be one big chromatic experiment. I don't know. But the bottom line here is that you are free to make up your own mind for what you want to call it. Maybe you get to a point like I'm at right now where my head's starting to spin a little bit and I really don't care anymore like what the theory is. It sounds cool and I just learn enough theory to help me create that mental model inside my head so that I know it's a B to a G sharp. They're major triads in the second inversion, and as long as I can get to those chord shapes, like that's enough to spark that mental model, and then the muscle memory kind of kicks in and my ears tell me what to do, and you practice it enough and you just don't really have to think about it anymore. So that's all for this video. Feel free to drop me a line in the comments. Let me know if you have any clever ways of interpreting what I just talked about here. I will catch you in the next video, and until then, happy practicing, my friend.